What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another great, epic episode of Just My Opinion Reviews. We are talking that good old paradise, not season one, guys. This is season two, episode one, titled Graceland. Annie is a tour guide in Memphis, Tennessee, when the world ends. Her survival in the ensuing years after the day is revealed, as well as her encounter with a traveling group of survivors. Lamont, in anticipation for this show, I did not think that episode one of season two was going to start off like this. I was like, what the hell is going on? Who is this character? Where is Xavier Collins? Okay, the last time we left off, he was in the plane like, baby Terry, I'm coming to save you. I got the babies back in the bunker. We got a babysitter. I'm sorry, baby. I left your cow effed up. I'm trying to make it up to you. I'm flying. I'm here I come, baby. And we don't see Xavier. We have Annie and Gail. But no, let's stop. I'm being for real, but I'm being silly. I'm being for real. Thank you for being here, sir. How did you feel about this first episode coming into season two? What were your expectations? Let us have it, sir. Let us have it.
Man, I enjoyed it, but I kind of squinted my eye at the opening. Why are we looking at Elvis? Why are we looking at someone that they had us thinking was Lisa Marie Presley, Graceland? What the hell are we doing at first is what I was looking at it like. And then as the story unfolded, be Avery, I'm on the edge of my seat. Like, I never read the synopsis, especially when I do reviews with you, because I want it to kind of be a surprise so that my reactions are extremely authentic.
Mm-hmm.
And this was a phenomenal episode. And if you remember from theories I gave last year, I think you might remember I said it would be dope if they would do some episodes with what was going on with the people that was on Earth that didn't get in the bunker.
Yeah.
And I was thinking that maybe some of these people had mutated or whatever, or we could get something similar to The Walking Dead,
Yeah.
And that's kind of what we got here. It just didn't go bad.
Yeah. Where do you think this season is going to go? Because majority of the first took place inside the bunker. I mean, we did get some backstory here and there about what was going on in the White House. Some television coverage from around the nation, some around the world. But I'm after this first episode, I'm thinking the majority of it may take place outside of the bunker. You know, us seeing what happened after the disaster, after the super volcano went off, and also some backstory as well. Like, I thought about, I know I just asked you a question. I also thought about you because our main character, Annie here, she was a third-year medical student. And I know that you and your wife are in the medical field as well. She had a hell of a lead, man. It was she was having some type of trauma, some type of flashback. She was dealing with something, wasn't able to cope, had a nervous breakdown, crashed out outside, ran into a security guard, and quit medical school to become a tour guide at a Elvis Presley Memorial Center. I know. Yeah. Where do you think majority of the seasons is going to take place so far for the most part? And Annie quitting medical school to become a tour guide. Like, how do you feel about that?
First, let's deal with where I think the show is going to take place. I'll say it like this. I was already in the tank for I wanted to see more of what was going on above the bunker. And so I'm happy, and I think that we can make a very compelling case of Xavier teaming up with the individuals we saw in this episode to go take on what's going on in that bunker, because it's crooked up in that bunker. Some decisions was made that are going to have everybody that didn't get in the bunker extremely upset. So to see a group of people building together to try to restart the world and then have to deal with the little mini torrential government that's in the bunker could make great TV. So I could really see this being all about above ground, getting to that bunker in Colorado, getting rid of whatever that threat is, and then turning the world back on. And to Annie, in the beginning, we saw her giving medicine to her mom. I'm assuming it's her mom. And the death of her mom just never got out of her, to the point where when she's bedside with patients, she's having panic attacks, almost PTSD type mental issues that drives her to basically get out of school and be Avery. This is not something that really doesn't that this is something that happens to a lot of students. Medical school, be Avery, is a lot of pressure. A lot.
I bet.
I mean, pretty much any medical field, when you actually have to start working with the patient fresh out of the classroom, it's a lot of pressure, and a lot of people do what Annie did.
Yeah, yeah. I can only imagine. And it's not that she quit. I'm not judging her like, oh, you're a quitter. I mean, you're trying to be a doctor, a medical doctor. That's freaking hard. You know, my goodness gracious. It's the she did like the polar opposite. You know, something that you have to go to school for years upon years to. And no shade to my my tour guides out there, you know, but it just takes a different level of experience. And so for her to do that, it just really interested me. And she just didn't seem like she had a family. I mean, you know, you're in medical school, you quit. Hey, mom, I wasn't able to do it. Auntie, uncle, brother, sister, cousin, or whatever. It just seemed like she was in the world by herself. And then it just all kind of just fell apart with her and Gail. And I felt sorry for Gail, too, because while they don't look like they would hang out in the real world together, they did create some type of bond, love, friendship in between the two of them for those first 45, 46 days. And I did not cry, you know, a tear did not shed from my eye, but it was sad, man, to where she froze to death down there after being injured. You know, I mean, just imagine a month and a half where you can't walk around. You know, it's the summertime outside, but it's freezing cold because of ash clouds blocking the sun. I mean, physically, mentally, that's going to do you over. And I got really, it was just really sad to me. She's like, oh, you gave me the medicine, Annie, and it worked. I'm not in pain anymore. I'm not cold anymore. You know, then she dies the next day. I don't know. I like the writing there. I like the relationship, the dynamic between them. You know, the bond that they created. Do you feel the same somewhat, or kind of over your head through one ear out the other?
No, I like that relationship. Of course, there were some stereotypical behaviors associated with Black people. Number one, you had the Black lady, the security guard, but you also had something that is a real deal. It's not a stereotype of Black people. It is a real amalgamation of what we do. We're highly understanding people. We're highly loving people. Black women have been the backbone and cornerstone of this society since they brought their asses over here on the boat. And when Annie was looking downtrodden, just almost depressed, that security guard could have went away and told her, you know, get your car up out of here, but she didn't do that. She helped Annie and then even gave Annie information to get a job. And so I loved that relationship. And it was funny to me that Gail kept saying, I'm the cute one and you the smart one.
Yeah. I like that too. I like that too. I like how resourceful Annie was too. You know, she had a pretty nice, tough survival instinct. You know, as soon as the crap started hitting the fan, she's like, go to the basement, get these supplies, get these blankets, meet me here. No, we can't start a fire because we don't want to let the smoke out and let people know that we're here. No, we can't go outside because people are going to see us. Oh, let's just take a peek. And, you know, they're looking at things through the telescope. What I do like is, though, we don't really know exactly what happened outside the bunker in season 1, except for episode 7, when everybody was running with their heads chopped off. But we kind of get another aspect of that, you know, with this episode. And I like how they did it with the days, you know, day 3, day 19, day 24, day 45, day 46, day 689. I think that's like 22 or 23 months right there. But the little snippets and tidbits of them showing the world falling apart, and then the way that they did it too, with the telescope, showing the water rushing in from the coast, you know, explosions, fires going off, people running in the middle of the streets, letting off, shooting off their guns. I also did. I don't know how this works, but nuclear power plants or chemical plants, however, if you just leave them abandoned or something, they'll just blow up. I didn't know any of that. You know, did any of that right there fascinate you at all? With how they broke the episode down and kind of, you know, showed you some aftermath of how the world went to crap.
Did it? What's behind me? Hulk, Thor, of course. This was a nerd delight episode, which is another reason why I loved it.
And I'm sorry, I forgot you like these end of the world type stuff too. We talked about
My
that. So
favorite,
keep going. My
favorite.
fault. Yeah.
By the way, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching Paradise, you might want to go check out Project Hail Mary, starring Ryan Gosling, coming out in March. The sun is burning out and they've got to save it. And then you meet some rock people in space that are dying on Mars. So you want to go see that too. Could be a Film of the Year Oscar candidate. Now back to this. I loved B. Avery. I was in here having geekgasm. I'm gonna just be honest with you. Yeah. I've got that same telescope in my backyard. Okay. Me and my daughter go gaze at the stars. We gaze at the moon. We look at the Big Dipper. I got the same telescope. So I love that they put that in there using the telescope. I love that she could see what was coming. I love that she telegraphed every single move based on her knowledge of what was going on as this thing was coming. And I love how they used the smoke cloud blocking out the sun to show you how runaway greenhouse gas can really mess up the planet and give you wild, crazy different seasons. So I was in heaven with every bit of it. Couldn't get enough.
Yeah. Y'all let us know what y'all think about all that in the comment section too. Also worth noting, Lamont, in season 1, I think it was episode 4 or 5, to where Kyle was hacking into the tablet. He started hearing recordings of there being life outside. They also showed we're going to send 4 explorers out there to see if life is habitable. And, you know, Sinatra's evil and sent Billy to execute him and all that. But when they was out there, I think at the time, during that episode, they were only in the bunker for maybe 3 to 6 months. Present day bunker, it was 3 years. But at that time, I think it was 3 to 6 months. It was nothing but dark and gloom and ash and must and mud and dirt everywhere. But in this episode, the sun is out. The birds are chirping. You can see the clouds and stuff like that. Lamont, is the rest of the world, or at least certain territories, habitable, or is it just a temporary thing? I mean, what do you think here? Because we got 3 years of events outside, you know. So how you feeling about that? Is it a permanent thing or a temporary thing, or inconsistent? Is this a plot hole? What's going on?
No, this is definitely not a plot hole. But before we do, my firstborn wants to say hello. Your super fan, hurry up, hurry up and say hello. She made.
Queen. Oh, I love the braids.
She made a YouTube video speaking Spanish, and she can't wait for the world to see it. Really? She would like for you all to subscribe once YouTube goes through the process, because she wants to get as many subscribers as her Uncle B. Avery and her daddy Lamont. Right,
yes. Yeah. Yes, ma'am. I would definitely be subscribing to your channel. You look lovely, you little angel. I love the braids too.
He said he's going to subscribe to the channel and he loves your braids. Now get out of here, girl.
Have a good night, sweetie pie.
No, I don't think it's a plot hole, B. Avery, because sorry, y'all, I am truly a nerd. I know I don't look like it, but I am. I've read about how when the asteroids hit and caused the extinction situation with the dinosaurs, the impact did create some shifts in our tectonic plates that caused some eruptions of some mega volcanoes. And so we did get some volcanic ash and that type of thing that created these different pockets where the ozone was so thick that light could only get in one area. And so I could easily see the story being just like that, because whoever's writing this, writers, y'all are doing a hell of a job. Let me just acknowledge y'all, because y'all don't get enough acknowledgement. You're doing a great job. And I could see them doing this, and I could see them, B. Avery, leading us to a trail of doom if you go somewhere where the weather is chaotic. Like all of our heroes, if you want to call them heroes, gathering to go take on the people inside the underground bunker. You get stuck somewhere on the other side of the Mason-Dixon where the weather is so chaotic, it could tear you up. So I'm here for it, brother. They doing a good job.
Yes, they are. Yes, they are doing a good job. So great job, writers, making me care for these characters that I didn't think I would be caring for at all. Now,
There's another force that I'm sure you care for, possibly.
What's that?
that was, now this was the only unrealistic part. Annie's horse that she let go, and he made it back. I immediately said to myself when the horse came back, plot device. Because if what really happened, that horse would not have survived. And if he did survive, he definitely wouldn't have been coming back to home. So I knew that was a plot device. And by the end of the show, we saw why.
Okay. You're kind of making me want to go back and look at that. I wouldn't know, but it is worth observing. But we got a time jump, Lamont. You know, it started out day 1, day 3, day 46, month and a half. Then it jumped to day 689. And Annie is, that's right under 2 years. Annie is by herself, but she gets some visitors. And I'm not blaming her for being scared, being afraid, you know, having her guard up. You know, you don't know these men. They can come in and rob, murder, rape you, all horrible, you know. Luckily, they didn't do that. Now, I think the introduction is horrible. I don't think you should be barging through the house all aggressive and then grab somebody by the ankles and rip them up from under the bed and then be like, hey, how you doing? You know, what the hell is wrong with you? You know, you could have been like, hey, I know you're under the bed. I'm not going to hurt you. Come on out. You know, that would have made more sense to me. But to just grab somebody like that and then feel some type of way because they're spitting on you or hitting you in the back of the head because you want to play Beethoven Moonlight Sonata, you know, first impressions are a hell of a thing. It apparently didn't matter towards the end, but we'll get to that. But how did you feel about these men pulling up to the Graceland Elvis mansion, all aggressive like, sir?
Man, so here's some quick facts about Graceland. I hate to admit it, but I've been there. Now, folks, in real life, there is no underground bunker on Graceland. There just isn't. Does this man have a bunch of cars? Yes. Does he have a cut up airplane on Graceland? Yes, he's got those things. Now, I always tell people, you better hope we find E.T. before E.T. finds us. And that same concept goes with Annie and people barging in to Graceland. Like, dude, you know what? I got to give her credit, B. Avery, because the minute that they broke that fence, my guns would have been blazing. Because we going down fighting.
Really?
B. Avery, what good does it look like somebody's going to have just breaking through the fence, just breaking in the house?
They're trying to survive.
I would have had me some... I'm trying to... Right. And they're going to try to survive at my expense. I don't want y'all here. No, I don't know y'all like that. I don't know if y'all are the Grubers, the McGruders, or the Grapers. And I don't need to find out what y'all is. There's a reason why I wanted to be here by myself. I would have been shooting folks in the ankle. You wouldn't have got up in there. I am perfectly fine with what Annie did, because most of the time, B. Avery, when you get discovered by something, it's not coming to negotiate terms that you're going to want. They're coming to take something.
True.
And that's what they did in essence. It's just that they were nice about it.
I had to play devil's advocate a little bit. I can't talk. Do you still think her guard was too high when he was on the piano? Do you think at that point in time she should have been like, okay, I'm gonna chill. They're not a threat. You know, but she still hit him and then hid upstairs in the attic for 3 days. You know, do you agree with that decision, or, you know, you think she was tripping?
No. I agree with it. But the only thing I don't agree with was you should have done more than hit him. You should have hit him. You should have came up with a plan of how you're going to take out all the rest of them, and you should have recovered Graceland for your own sake. But no, at that point, I still have no qualms with her playing safe. Look, she's a woman. It's a group of men. And I guess some people would say, well, they hadn't done nothing to her at that point. But that's what these grapers do, ladies and gentlemen. They try to massage you into trust, and then at your most vulnerable moment, the moment just before you let go of the orgasm, that's when they take you out. And they didn't do her like that, thank goodness. But no, I don't know. Go ahead, Annie. Do your thing. This ain't Annie's cookies. This is Annie's Graceland. Do your thing.
Do your thing. Do your thing. This is not Annie's cookies. That is hilarious. What were they eating at the table? Eggs.
Oh,
I
oh,
don't think it was bacon. What were they? What
it
were they
was
eating?
it was a pig. It was just a boar. Wasn't a
Okay.
regular pig. It was a boar, a wild boar. So are you familiar with basketball and the Arkansas Razorbacks?
Yeah.
The Razorback is a wild boar.
Yeah.
Those are the
Okay.
ones that have horns coming out of their mouths, not like Charlotte's Web pig, the pigs that you go see out in the farm. These are wild animals that got tusks, and the meat of those things tend to be a little bit more tough. But I'm gonna tell you what, for someone who ain't had no power and no heat, no real home cooked meal in a long time, that food got her butt right up on the out of them stairs and down there eating with them. And mama grandma always say, Lamont, you want to win over a woman, know how to cook.
This is true. This is true. You can always win over somebody if you know how to cook. I know a little bit, but I could know more. I could know more. Let us know in the comments if you know how to cook. You may think I'm being silly, but I'm being serious. Link. Link is the character's name. He has information. This is not just a group of grapers. You know, they seem like they have some type of intelligence, seem like they have some type of plan.
Yep.
Seems like they are national. Hey man, there are 94 power plants around the United States. We need to mobilize, organize, and go shut them down so we can restart the earth. He knows about the bunker. How does he know about the bunker, Lamont? How does he know? They have theories about EMP. We know that that's true. What's going on, man? Where are they getting all this information from? I thought it was top secret, Lamont. I thought it was a top secret.
Well, it's a bunch of them. And the person that knows this was Geiger, whatever his name was. He's the real founder of this group going across the nation trying to restart the earth. And he found Link sleeping in a bag. And yes, folks, when Link said his name was Link, I was like, the only way this boy name is Link, it's got to be Legend of Zelda. And we later find out it is definitely Legend of Zelda, one of the greatest games ever created on Nintendo. And
Yeah.
Greiger, I can go ahead and give y'all a theory right now because I know, BA, you love my early on theories. I can go ahead and give you a theory. Greiger is going to die. I can just tell you that right now. He is going to kick the bucket because he's the one who knows where all the bodies is hidden. He's the one that knows all this deep technical nerdy stuff. And he's the one that put everybody together. And I think that when you have a leader like him dies, it can only do one of the two things. It can elevate your group or leave y'all into despair and sadness. And I do have questions about how he knows so much. Did he work in the government? Are we going to see a backstory with him being somewhere as the president is detail? Anything like that? I would not be surprised if he had some kind of government job and knew what was coming.
Is there anything you don't like about this episode? I have one to pick.
Let me give me like 10 seconds. Let me scan here.
I'm
Well,
gonna
I
tell you
kind of
mine
gave
while
you
you're
one
thinking.
nitpick.
I'm gonna tell
That
you
horse
mine.
thing was a nitpick of mine. That
Okay.
horse thing. But go ahead.
I'm gonna say the delivery of the dialogue coming from Geiger was too on the nose for me, too convenient. What I mean by that is he was always giving out a secret when somebody was around the corner or listening in, like they're having a conversation. You know, even if we get in, even if we have the firepower, you know, are we going to be able to find her? Oh, somebody's coming. We got to stop talking. But then towards the end where Annie is inside the room locked and she doesn't want to go with Link and she comes down and Geiger comes down there, hey, Link, buddy, we got to go. We got to go. If he had enough sense, he knows that Link is talking to Annie on the other side of the door and he's trying to convince her to go. But he's like, we got to go and we have to kill Alex. Like, why would you say that out loud like that? You know, to reveal that to Annie to possibly thwart your mission. It just seems like that's something that you would want to keep secret. And I mean, I may be nitpicking here, but I just thought it was kind of a sloppy way to, tell that part of the story plot to the audience to let us know what was going on. It just, I don't know, that could have been delivered a different way. I thought about that when you brought up Geiger. I mean, am I tripping? Do you agree or disagree at all?
I do think that what he was saying at the door when Annie was there, I do think that that was a little too much, but I kind of like the other information drops we got from him because he admitted that they're looking for some woman and they're hoping that whoever this woman is alive and she's a real big chess piece in what they're trying to do. So I did appreciate that part. Now, him talking about folks dying and stuff like that by the door, no, dude, this boy, B. Avery, this man probably ain't had no panty draws in 3 years. He's smitten. Bruh, he's smitten. You could have pulled him to the side, over to the corner, and said all the stuff you had to say. He is smitten because he ain't had none in 3 years, and so hadn't Annie. And so I do agree with that scene by the door. Geiger could have handled it a different way, but you got to think Geiger is he's older. He's old. He's probably like 70. He ain't got much time left on this planet. So for him, his sex is probably getting the earth started back up so that he can enjoy the rest of his years.
Yeah.
Whereas he's thinking, young boy, you got your whole life in front of you. If we can complete this mission, you can always find you another woman. All I've got is years left. So I can understand his urgency, but I wish he would have pulled him to the side.
Right on. And thinking about it's been a while, 3 years and panty draws and all that stuff right there. There are no stepping on the toes in this group right here. They say, okay, Link, you're the ringleader on this. We feel the aura, the chemistry in the air between you and Annie. We're going to step back and let you plant your seed, sir, and hopefully it grows into a plant. And that's exactly what happened. They outside with the covers and blankets, looking at the stars in the sky, looking at the satellites fall from the universe, from space. Oh, a shooting star here and there, everywhere. They take it inside, Lamont. It's quite awkward. It's quite cringy, but I'm loving it at the same time. It's been 3 years since they went to the Boom Boom Room. And I got to be honest, man, I love this scene right here, man, because the tension is there, but they don't know how to act. And Annie has this weird mean mug on her face, like, yeah, I want you to come get it, but I'm looking. She was just, it wasn't that inviting, but I knew that she wanted to engage too. And I thought it was really genuine to where when they finally gave each other a hug, when they finally embraced, it wasn't sexy, it wasn't passionate. It wasn't a turn on. It was just, she got emotional and started crying, and he was like, it's okay. And that's scary, in a normal sense, man. If you're about to have sex with a woman and she starts crying, exit stage left, go to church, leave that alone, okay? But my God, talk about uncomfortable situations. That's top 3, you know what I'm saying? But I'm being silly, but I'm being for real too though. Like I felt her though, like, cause it's been a while. You know what I'm saying? Like she for at least 2.5 years, she's been by herself. Okay. Then she meets these men who she thinks she probably gonna get murdered or raped. They have a nice bond and it's here. It's that time. Like, whoa, it's been a while. I ain't had a hug in a while. And they do the do. They have a good time. It seems like he falls for her more than she falls for him. What are your thoughts for all that, sir? I'm very, very curious.
Man, unfortunately, when the tension came from her having those flashbacks and just her life walk, it was almost like she was having PTSD before they messed around. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, this is something that happens to a lot of people. Sadly, I'm a male who has from high school to now as an adult have been in relationships with women who have had trauma at an early age by relatives, and I have been in these uncomfortable moments where they want to embrace, they want to make love, but because they've got this mental trauma, it turns cringy. I mean, it turns really, really cringy. And when I was a young man, I couldn't handle that. I dumped a bunch of girls who was going through that because I just wasn't mature enough. And then as an adult, I kind of became a little bit more understanding to a point. And so I understand the real tension. I felt it myself because I've been there, and I know what it feels like when you can assist someone who's having those kind of flashbacks, having that kind of tension, when you can be there and gain their trust enough that they feel like they can vent and relieve everything to you. Man, that's some of the best love making you're going to ever do. Monkey double backflips, all you want to. Olympic pole vaulting is what you get. But having said that, I would also like to say that I think that that moment was a moment of kind of showing that we are going to be able to get this this planet back in track, because you've seen she wound up being pregnant. You've seen where Annie was good with plants. She had new life. So she represented a symbol of bringing in new life. And you know, it's only a matter of time before her and our boy find Link and his crew.
Yes. Olympic monkey backflips. Out of everything you said, that's the
Pole
only thing
vault.
I'm joking. I'm joking. No,
Oh,
well
okay.
said, sir. Well said. Well said. I know I'm gonna piss somebody off.
God,
You're
this
gonna let
guy
me know in the
said-
comment. He said all that, and you said Olympic monkey. Anyway, but as you said, they didn't use a condom. He shot up the club. She ends up being pregnant. I'm like, God dog it. Now I wish you would have gone with him even more.
Be Avery, you really think that that condoms was something, birth control was something they was worried about in the midst of an apocalyptic situation? I think it should be against
I
the.
was just joking.
Oh, okay. I was about to say it should be against the law to use birth
Yeah.
control at this point.
This is true. These are facts. No, I was being silly. I was being silly. I probably would have not used one as well, even if it was a bucket. Well, I don't know anyway, that's gross. But she's pregnant, man. She's super duper pregnant with like quadruplets. That's how big her stomach looked. And I'm like, God dog it. You know, I wonder if Link is going to come back and be a good daddy. But as she's looking depressed, looking out the window, like, damn it, I don't have no baby formula. She hears the plane crash. She's like, wait a minute, what's going on? Okay, Link said this about the map, and they go in here and the technology. And actually, let me back up a bit. He was having a conversation. So they want to go to the bunker. They know about the bunker. They want to go inside. They got the firepower. They're trying to kill her. And then Greiger is talking about we got to get in there and kill Alex. But Link also told Annie that there is something inside of the bunker that nobody knows about, and it is extremely dangerous. And that if he tried to explain it to her, she wouldn't understand. He's not trying to be insulting. What in the world is he talking about, bro? What is in the bunker that is so dangerous? That don't make, what's going on?
Let's break this down like the nerd scientists that we are. There can only be a handful of things, be Avery, that could be that dangerous that they're talking like, extinction level or second volcanic ash eruption level. It's either got to be they've got some kind of deadly virus down there, or it's got to be whatever energy source they're using could be that. We already know that they got an EMP. And did you see how they sprinkled it in to the show at different moments when the volcano first hit, and Annie and Gail was having issues with the lights, issues with the batteries? That was because of the EMP. And the only things it could be Avery, is their energy source, some kind of virus, or maybe they've got some kind of EMP that's even more deadly or more chaotic than what we saw in this episode. What do you think?
I think they have some type of 8-headed dragon with wings with acid breath that came out of the super volcano, and they threaten to take over the world. I don't know what it could be, but I don't know. Because I'm thinking like, okay, an extinction level event. Well, that already happened in season 1. So, we only got 25,000 people in the bunker, so it must be something really super duper. I can't wait to find out though. I'm a bit nervous. You know what I'm saying? So y'all let us know in the comment section what do y'all think it's going to be, because I'm curious. But going back to what I said, man, Annie is looking depressed, looking out the window like, how am I going to raise this baby by myself in the middle of nowhere? Plane crashes. She pulls out the map. She does this. She does that. She hops on the horse with her pregnant butt, goes out. And while this episode was entertaining, I was like, I don't want to see this initially. I want to see Xavier Collins. We see Xavier Collins. He has crash landed. He is outside the plane. He is on the ground, knocked out, bloody and bruised. And Annie is coming to save it. And I'm like, I'm happy, but I'm sad. I'm like, yes, there is Xavier, but damn it, I hope he's okay. I hope he can walk. It was satisfying, though. And then that's the end of the episode, Lamont. What are your thoughts, sir? What are your thoughts? Xavier meets Annie. Annie meets Xavier. What's going on in your head, sir? What's going on?
I said to myself, you better not finish this episode without us getting a glimpse of Xavier. How can you do that?
Right.
I didn't want him to crash the airplane, but you know, he almost had made it to Georgia. He was in Tennessee. Technically, technically you don't have to fly to Tennessee to get to Georgia from where they was at. So I'm assuming he had to divert his flight because of weather conditions, which, you know, we've already kind of talked about that. But obviously, we know he's not a bad guy. Annie doesn't know that. So I'm sure Annie's going to be a little leery of him until he spills the beans about he knows that bunker. He knows what's going on in there. There are some traitors in the bunker. And then Annie's going to be like, my baby daddy is headed to that bunker, and we've got to stop him. We've got to join him to help him because you know everything about that bunker. And of course, they're going to form a bond. He's probably going to deliver her baby. And I'm willing to bet you that by the time Annie and link up again, pun intended, she's going to be done had the baby. And do you remember Legend of Zelda's little friend outside of Link? You remember what the friend name was?
Mm-mm.
Well, damn, I don't either. That's why I asked you. Oh. But that's what she's going to name the baby.
Okay. That's what's up right there. Yeah, because Xavier was on his way to Atlanta, correct?
Yep.
And he ended up in Tennessee because that's where she's at. It's an hour and a half flight from Ohio to Tennessee, 7.5 hour drive. And then from Tennessee to Atlanta, that's a 3.5 hour drive. And flight is, I'm trying to look right now. Okay, that's taking too long to come up. But they don't got no plane anyway, so it's going to be interesting to see how he's going to get there to Atlanta. Or maybe Tracy, his wife, is no longer in Atlanta. I don't even know. We don't even know if she's alive right now. He's looking. Well, no, she's alive because we heard the recording. We heard the recording from season 1. So,
but we don't know if she's still in Atlanta. That's what we don't know.
Right. She could be in Nebraska. She could be anywhere trying to survive, you know, because at this point in time, we think at least one nuke hit Atlanta from episode 7 of last season. So quite interesting. You have any final thoughts, sir, or predictions?
The actress playing Annie, you do a phenomenal job in everything you're in. And I'm sorry I always confuse you with Jennifer Lawrence in the beginning, and I don't know your name. But I see you in everything. You are a fantastic actress. And when we're done, I'm going to look you up because I'm tired of confusing you with Jennifer Lawrence when I know you're not Jenny Lawrence because you hold your own weight in everything you act in.
Right on.
And I like the music they played at the very end, too. The music that they was playing when she hopped on her horse that came back, that shouldn't have really came back. Yeah. And she got up there with her pregnant butt and went and found Xavier. I love that music. So shout out to the people that came up with the music for this track.
Yes, that did stand out as well. I did appreciate that. And I cannot find Annie's name. They only have young Annie here. I'll have to have that for you guys next time. But this was an enjoyable show. This was a good episode.
Very much so.
You know, we're going to see what's going to happen next. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in to our Paradise Season 2, Episode 1 recap titled Graceland. We will be here same time, same place next week for episode 2. Or no, they're releasing the first 3 episodes at once. It's called Xavier. It's called Mayday. Xavier battles the elements and other threats as he follows a broadcast to Atlanta in search of his wife, Terry. It is going down. Guys, if you are watching this on my channel, please subscribe to Lamont's channel. It's right here. This is what it looks like. There will be a link to his channel in the description box of this video. Also, if you're watching this on Lamont's channel, please subscribe to my channel. This is what it looks like right here. We're also covering Cross Season 2. That's on Prime Video as well. Tariq Nasheed also came out with the first trailer for Hidden Color 6, and I have a reaction right there. There's plenty of reasons that you want to subscribe to our channel because we dope over here. We have great content. But guys, we just want to thank you so much for tuning in. And before you go, don't forget that I'm B. Avery. That's Lamont, and that's just our opinion. Peace out, and we'll see y'all next time.